Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience as we've been working to make sure that we can provide accurate information. I'm sorry that we're having to gather here tonight under these tragic circumstances. What happened here today at the Seattle Center was an unbelievable tragedy and a horrific act of violence. My heart right now is with the victims and their families and with everyone in our community who is reeling from what happened here today. We have far too much gun violence in this city and in this country, and we're coming off of a week in Seattle where we've had 3 major incidents of gun violence in just a few days. We have a lot of work to do as a city and as a country to make this better.
I get your passion, Mayor, but we need to know what happened tonight, please.
Yes, so our focus right now is with this investigation, with learning what happened so that we can provide accurate information to the public, with supporting the victims, I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis to tell you what we know.
So this afternoon, we had officers working our Bite of Seattle event. At 6:01 p.m., gunshots were heard. We had officers in the area, in the immediate area when these gunshots went off. Officers responded and addressed one of the shooters. That person gave up and was taken into custody. There was another person that we believe that was also involved that fled the scene, and officers began an active search for that person. We discovered as we got to the scene that there were a total of 7 victims that suffered gunshot wounds at the scene. Officers immediately began to perform CPR and first aid on several victims. We had a total of 4 victims that were transported by the Seattle Fire Department to Harborview Medical Center. We had another two more victims that remained on the scene and were unfortunately unable to survive their injuries. So that's a total of 7 victims. We had another victim that later showed up at the University of Washington Medical Center with also a gunshot wound. One of the victims at Harborview Medical Center did not survive their injuries. So now we have a total of 3 fatalities out of those 7 victims. This is a tragedy. I'm really sorry that this happened. The Bite of Seattle is a very positive event. We haven't had any issue in recent years. And, thankfully we had officers on the scene that were brave, went to those shots, and prevented more victims from being injured. This is going to be an ongoing investigation. We're going to be out here for several hours trying to figure out exactly what happened tonight. Right now we believe that we have no outstanding threat to the community. We do have one suspect that is being interviewed. We've recovered 2 guns. It's one thing to note, one of the 4 victims that was taken to the hospital was a toddler. Again, this is a terrible, terrible event. All 4 victims that have been hospitalized are in stable condition. And again, we're going to be out here for several hours trying to figure out what happened tonight. We have a number of agencies that are here to support us with our criminal investigation, and it's ongoing. We're not going to have a lot of information to share at this time, but we will have more information for everyone in the coming hours.
So you only have 1 shooter in custody?
We have 1 shooter in custody at this time.
Anyone else outstanding?
We believe there is 1 outstanding. That is part of our investigation. We are still trying to gather more information.
So this was a shootout?
Description.
I do not have a suspect description for you at this time.
So this was a shootout in Bite of Seattle?
There were 2 people who we believe were shooting at each other.
You don't have suspect description, but you know who you're looking for?
We are still working on that, and we'll have more information for you.
Are there surveillance cameras in the area, and are any of those city-operated surveillance cameras?
There were no surveillance cameras in the immediate area where the shooting occurred.
Any idea on a motive?
Not at this time.
How old's your suspect in custody right now?
I'm not able to disclose that at a time.
Is it an adult?
They're a young person.
Do you believe that the shooters were shooting at each other and those who were hit were innocent bystanders?
We believe that there were 2 people shooting at each other.
Is there a weapon recovered?
We have recovered 2 weapons so far.
Were the people hit innocent bystanders?
We don't know their involvement at this time. Obviously, we had a toddler that was shot, so I don't believe they were involved with the actual incident or involved with the violence that was led up to it.
Is the toddler alive?
Shooters knew each other.
All victims are in stable condition.
Do you believe the 2 shooters knew each other before, or
We're working to determine that.
What were the weapons that were recovered?
I don't have that information for you at this time.
Was the gang unit called out?
So we have several detectives here on scene. We have our homicide unit, our gun violence reduction unit, our CSI unit is also here at the scene, as well as some local partners from King County, Washington State Patrol, and the FBI. So yeah, we have a lot of people helping us with this investigation.
Did you say you're also interviewing a suspect?
I'm sorry.
Did you say one person is in custody, but you're also interviewing a suspect?
We are interviewing one person at this time that we believe is a suspect in
Is
this
that person
incident.
detained?
Yeah, we have them in custody at this time.
So who is the person that's outstanding then?
We are working to determine that.
So is that a third person?
No, there's one other person that we're looking at so far. There may be more. We're still trying to figure this out. We have a limited amount of witnesses, so one of the things that really could help us out is if people would call our violent hotline, which is 206-233-5000. So if you can call our hotline, again, that's 206-233-5000. We know that there were people out there when this incident occurred that saw what happened and know that some of the people that might be involved and can share information.
So are there cameras here at Seattle Center that can be turned on?
There are no cameras that I'm aware of that are posted where this shooting occurred.
There was talk about activity in the Pacific Science Center. Was there activity inside the theater?
We did have some areas or some different grounds where we conducted some searches for possible suspects. We've cleared that. Again, we don't believe that there were any potential suspects or threats in the immediate area.
So people that we spoke to said it's wall to wall with people shoulder to shoulder. How can there be no witnesses if it was just packed full of people?
We have witnesses. There are witnesses. They're not coming forward. We need people to be brave, to reach out to us. You can do so anonymously. We know that we have people who probably have evidence or have information that they can share with us. So please, come forward. You can call our hotline. It's 206-233-5000. We need information. We need help to solve this crime.
When is the park going to be open again?
We are going to be working with the center ground staff to kind of figure that out. There's a lot of, as you can imagine, there were a lot of vendors here. So this is going to be, we have to clear the scene, make everything safe, and collect all evidence. And then we'll be working together with the center ground staff and the vendors to clear the park and open it up. So,
Mayor, after this tragedy, would you consider adding cameras to Seattle Center and maybe other parts of the city near Seattle Center?
My understanding is that there are cameras in Seattle Center, and we're working to see if any relevant footage is on those cameras.
Mayor, just walk through the city's response to this. I imagine there's going to be a lot of support for these victims. I mean, just walk us through what's next from the city's perspective.
Absolutely, right. Our focus right now is on supporting the victims as SPD and partners continue this investigation. And we've had a great response from SPD and from fire, all our first responders, medics, and folks at Harborview. We'll be working through our Human Services Department to figure out what support we can provide to the victims and their family. And as we learn more about the nature of the violence, there may be other things the city can do to support as well.
Where exactly did the shooting take place?
Press releases.
Sorry?
What happened with the change in press releases? There was the original press release that 1 or 2 people were in custody, and then that changed.
Yeah, in any situation like this, there's information flying around, and so we had an initial report that 2 suspects might have been taken into custody, and that ended up being untrue.
Do you know around how many shots were fired?
I don't have that information at this time.
Where exactly on the premises did the shooting take place?
So the shooting occurred right outside of the armory. So just right outside the armory is where the shooting occurred. And again, we had officers there at the scene ready to address that incident when it occurred.
And any motive whatsoever?
Not at this time. That'll be a part of our investigation.
What side of the armory? What part of the armory?
So I guess, I don't know if directionals work for you, but it would be on the northwest corner of the armory.
Mayor, where is Chief Sean Barnes, and does he actually have a residence here in Seattle?
Yeah, I believe he does. He's out of town right now. He'll be back in the morning. So I'm serving as acting chief in his absence, but he'll be here in the morning.
Any changes to consider for future events at Seattle Center?
Say that again?
Any changes to consider for future public events such as this one?
Whenever we have a large incident like this, and it's a serious tragedy, we always try to figure out how we can do things better. There will be, after action, we will work together with our city partners and all the stakeholders involved, because when we have the Bite of Seattle next year, we want it to be a safe event. So we will work together to try to figure out how we can make a safe event occur next year.
So I know there was a question about that. There's a little bit of oddball one, but families have been asking me how they can get their things. People left car seats, laptops, dropped and ran. How's that going to be coordinated?
Yeah, we're working on that plan right now. So we're working again with the center ground staff to figure out how we can return the park back to its pure form once we have collected all evidence, completed our investigation here at the scene, and move on.
Or is there a number they can call to check in?
Check with our media team, and I'll also work with the center ground staff to see if their public affairs folks can get a contact information to you.
How about the monorail? When is the monorail going to reopen?
Say that?
How long did it take for officers to get on scene?
They were right there. They were right there. They heard the shots and confronted the suspect that they saw actually shooting and stopped that shooting from continuing.
Did any officers fire weapons?
No officers fired weapons.
Sorry, do you know for a fact that both of the two shot? Both of the two suspects shot? Did they both fire their weapons?
We right now we only know about one officers observing one officer. We only know right now about one suspect firing shots that the officers actually observed shooting. So that's what we can share at this time. Again, as we find out more and learn more, we'll share that information with you.
But the outstanding suspect had a firearm?
I don't have that information at this time.
What kind of guns were recovered?
We also know 2 weapons were recovered, but we don't know whether they came from the same.
I'm not able to disclose that at this time.
And I'm sorry, we've heard a lot of witnesses talking about rapid fire shooting. Is there any word on whether there were clocks involved or any automatic weapons?
I won't comment about that at this time.
Any indication of this being gang related?
That'll be a part of our investigation, so we don't have that information at this time.
Governor, after this public safety tragedy, what is your office doing to add more police officers to cities like Seattle and Washington State?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. Number one, I just want to express my deep appreciation for the first responders who, as you heard, were literally on the scene and stepped in to help address the situation, and to also secure the entire Seattle Center, which I know took some time, so we deeply appreciate all of their work. Number two, before I answer your question, of course, I want to say look, Bite of Seattle is about as iconic an event as we have in the city of Seattle. It's where a community comes together and enjoys our city and being together. And any shooting like this is senseless. I think it's magnified for an event like this. And so all of us, our hearts go out to everybody who's impacted by this. I can't imagine being the parent of a 2-year-old toddler, for example, who's injured in a shooting like this. But for everybody who's impacted, our hearts go out to them. Number two, to your question specifically, yes, I mean, as you know, in legislation, my first year as governor, we put into our budget $100 million grant program for local jurisdictions to get more law enforcement officers, which is something I support as part of my campaign for governor. That legislation got through, and now those dollars are starting to flow to local jurisdictions. So I support that effort. We'll continue to support that effort. I think that was the reason. This is the type of thing we rely on our first responders at a time like this to keep our community safe, and that's why I support that.
Have you spoken to all the victims' families?
We have officers on the scene. We obviously get contact from potential family members of victims, so they may have information for us, so we will try to work with them. We have a number of support services on scene, including chaplain services that are here to support both the officers who obviously went through the stressful and traumatic situation, and as well as those families, witnesses, and people that are affected by what happened today.
Your thoughts about those officers, man? They ran right into this.
I mean, this heroic work gets done daily in the city. Unfortunately, it takes a horrible, tragic situation like that for you to hear about all the hard work that our officers do. Yeah, please, when you see them, thank them for their service, recognize their work. There was some heroic work done today. I'm sure there were some lives that were saved because of it. But it's nothing that we're going to celebrate right now. This is a tragedy. This is something that we want to prevent. We always want to get it right. We always want to keep somebody safe. And so when our lives are lost, you know, it's a tough time for our city. So I appreciate the officers. I appreciate their efforts. This could have been worse, but yeah, it's still a tragedy that we're unfortunately happened today. My hearts go out to all of those that are affected by this, including the family and the people that lost their lives today.
Congresswoman Jayapal, has the Trump administration been briefed on what's happening here at the federal level?
I know that the FBI has been in touch, obviously, and we are coordinating across all different levels of government. We're going to continue to work with the mayor, with the governor, to make sure we get whatever federal resources we need here on the ground. And let me also just add my thanks to Seattle police officers, as well as fire department professionals, as well as those at Harborview, the frontline medical professionals that are treating the victims tonight and dealing with the pain of the families that are suffering through this. We will continue to closely coordinate across all of our offices to make sure that the city gets what it needs so that we can figure out exactly what happened here, get the resources we need, get the support we need to the families and to the community. I know I've heard from a number of constituents who are here at Bite of Seattle, and I know it was traumatic for everyone who was here, and it's such an incredible festival. I know it means a lot to our community, and so I'm sorry, you know, our prayers, our hearts are with all those who were affected by tonight, and just know that all of us are working very hard to make sure we get to the bottom of this.
Is there at large, is there a danger to the general public?
No, not at this time. We believe there's no danger to the general public related to this incident.
But you are just looking for a second person.
Sorry?
Were you attending the bite, ma'am?
No, I was not at the bite, no.
Were you in the area?
No, I was in West Seattle, but immediately was in touch with the mayor and with the governor as soon as we heard what happened. Yeah.
Roughly where are you looking for the second person?
Where are we looking for?
The second person.
Well, we're looking in the immediate area. So we got witness accounts that there might have been some possible suspects in the area. And so that's where we directed our search right after the incident occurred.
I saw officers combing the Seattle Center area. Is this area secure?
It is secure. We believe it's secure if you mean it's secure in the sense that there's any outstanding suspects. We don't believe there's any on the grounds.
Did you say something about the age of the suspect that you...
I did not.
Can you share anything about the
I
age?
would say that
underage?
they're a young person, and that's what I'm comfortable saying at this point.
Age of the deceased? Age of the deceased?
We'll not be able to share that at this time.
When will you share information about the deceased?
We should have information coming out in the coming hours. We'll have our blotter. We'll put some information out there with some more details. And of course, you can always contact Seattle Police Department Public Affairs and get more information from our team there.
Is the suspect in custody also described as a young person?
Yes.
An adult though, right?
I'm not going to say whether they're adult or a juvenile at this time.
I've been hearing from vendors and musicians that play that really want to continue this festival. It's so important to the community and to the artists and the musicians that were involved. So they expressed to me that they would love to see some kind of a way to make people feel safe so that we can do this again. 3 days of free music events is amazing for any city. So whether it takes metal detectors or whatever it will take to make people feel safe, I think the musicians would really like to make sure this can happen again and that people don't stop going out because it's a big part of what Seattle's all about.
Yes. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their city, and especially in big gathering places like this. We want people to be able to come out and feel safe and be able to gather together and enjoy that community.
Thank you.
How many officers were at the Bite of Seattle before the incident occurred?
Dozens. We had dozens of officers working the grounds to try to keep our event safe. And unfortunately, it didn't work out like we had hoped it would.
How many initially responded?
I don't have that number at this time, but there were several officers there to quickly bring the scene under somewhat control so we can start providing first aid and open the area up for the fire department to come in and assist with performing first aid and CPR on our victims.
Roughly, thank you. Roughly how many people were at the festival when the shooting happened?
I don't.
I'm sorry. So we'll have a couple more questions.
Yeah.
A couple more.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll have some more information. That'll be something we can put out as well. We're still gathering that information, but there were a lot of people here when this incident occurred.
To verify the number of victims, it was 4 victims, 1
2 deceased here at the scene, and 1 passed away at Harborview. All right. I think we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The phone number again for people.
Okay, so if you're with us here on KOMO right now, we're just going to debrief from this press conference a little bit. It's just wrapping up.
Again, that's 206-233-5000. We need your help. We can't solve this without help from our community. So please, if you have information, give us a call. Thank you.
That's Assistant Chief Tyrone.
You just heard live from the Seattle Assistant Police Chief of Special Operations, Tyrone Davis. We learned a 3rd person sadly has died in this shooting at the Seattle Center today. That's 3 fatalities, so 7 victims, 4 wounded, including a toddler who at last check was in stable condition. The other big takeaway that we got here, Preston, 1 suspect in custody and a 2nd suspect who fled the scene.
And the interesting part about this is what the assistant chief talked about out there is that he doesn't think anyone's at risk at this point, but he also said they don't have a suspect description of the person that they're still looking for who fled the scene. Now, let's talk about this for a second. This is something a lot of people were talking about earlier, that this news conference took almost 5 hours to get going. And what happened here is they said they were waiting for dignitaries and elected officials to show up. We saw Governor Bob Ferguson. We saw Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal show up. And then the mayor was also there as well. Of course, no one was at the Bite of Seattle when this was taking place. They all came in after that. What the assistant chief also talked about was the fact that, as we talk about a mass shooting, yes, technically this was, but again, they called the detectives, and when they asked the question, is this gang involved, they did not say that specifically, but they said detectives were called in. So what we learned from this news conference is that 2 people were basically shooting at each other, and then people got caught in the crossfire. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this happen here in Seattle.
And it really explains why all night long we've been asking every single witness that we talked to, what led up to this? What happened? What did you hear? Oftentimes, maybe you'll hear there's an altercation, and we couldn't get anything. And as you know, we were waiting all evening to hear from Seattle police. But then what we find out is the reason they didn't know, the reason they didn't hear anything is police tell us. We have 2 people that were shooting at one another, and as like you mentioned, people get caught in the crossfire here.
We're going to continue our coverage right here on KOMO News. KOMO News at 11 starts right now.
A lot of people didn't react at first because we thought, oh, it must be firecrackers or something. I mean, nobody thought that it was dangerous. But then there was a 2nd volley.
Then I had to really sit and think. Boom, they're shooting.
At the time, it's just like, just run. Like literally just run.
I was right there, and all the people were running away to the west.
Breaking at 11, a manhunt is underway right now after Seattle's first mass shooting in more than 6 years. Gunfire erupted in a crowded Seattle center during the Bite of Seattle earlier tonight. Good evening, all. I'm Michelle Esteban.
And I'm Preston Phillips. So police say they do have 2 people we just talked about a second ago who were shooting at each other. And here's what we know so far. 3 people are dead, 4 others injured, including a 2-year-old boy. Police say 1 person has been arrested in this shooting and at least 1 remains on the run tonight. They're still searching for that person. Tonight we have team coverage. KOMO's Lynn Ann Wynn, Tyler Cunnington standing by, but we begin with KOMO's Jeremy Harris, where officials just briefed the media. We just watched that here on KOMO. Nearly 4 hours, almost 5 hours after this shooting. Jeremy?
Well, and Preston and Michelle, coming out of that press conference, we are learning that an already tragic story has now gotten worse, with a 3rd victim passing away at Harborview Medical Center, now bringing that victim count up to 3 who have died. There were 4 taken to Harborview Medical Center. 1 of those was the victim in critical condition. And we also learned from this press conference that there was another person who was shot that actually walked into the University of Washington Hospital. So just a very dynamic scene in terms of the number of people who were shot. And the other big thing we learned from this press conference just now after 5 hours was that this was a shootout in the middle of the Bite of Seattle, and that is outrageous. This is a packed event with tens of thousands of people who are down here at Seattle Center, and these 2 people, at least 2 people, were apparently shooting at each other. We know Seattle police officers heroically are on scene and immediately run and engage the shooter, take that person into custody. Police are not giving us many details about that person other than to say that it's a young person. They won't confirm if it's a juvenile juvenile or an adult. We also know Seattle police officers were able to recover 2 guns at the scene as well. So now, as we're here going into the 11 o'clock hour, the scene is still locked down by Seattle police, and it's going to remain that way probably well into tomorrow, if not into Tuesday as well, as they begin to go through and comb through all of the evidence, make sure they have everything cataloged and really piece together with a fine-tooth comb everything here at the scene, and then start to work towards those critical questions. Was there another shooter, which it sounds like from what police told us there is still at least one person who's outstanding and got away from the scene. But also, what do we know about that person who was taken into police custody? What is their backstory? Was this some sort of a gang incident? Was this some sort of an altercation that escalated? But critically important here is the fact that if this was a shootout in such a crowded area, it makes sense that so many people were shot during that event, because close quarters, people standing close to each other, and then gunfire going off. It is not surprising that that many people were hurt. So police are taking over tonight. Let's hear a little bit from Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis. Here's some of what he just told us.
We have witnesses. There are witnesses. They're not coming forward. We need people to be brave, to reach out to us. You can do so anonymously. We know that we have people who probably have evidence or have information that they can share with us. So please, come forward. You can call our hotline. It's 206-233-5000. We need information. We need help to solve this crime.
Now back out here at the scene tonight, the police are trying to push us back here because they're still trying to bring in some vehicles. In fact, we'll go ahead and go back a little bit farther. They're actually going to try and bring in a medical examiner's van right now, which is just tragic to think about, that still one of the deceased or the deceased bodies that are here at the scene. So that's who's going to be coming through here, and we apologize for us. We're here live on TV, but police needed us to move out of the way quickly. This is the King County Medical Examiner's van. Again, a reminder of the somber toll that was taken down here by the fountain tonight, where we had 2 who died here apparently at the scene, and then a 3rd victim who was transported to Harborview Medical Center and passed away there. So as we come off here at the scene, again, investigators have a big job ahead of them, but that's the latest from that press conference with Seattle Police, the mayor, the governor, and Representative Jayapal.
Jeremy Harris live tonight from the Space Needle there, just tragic in every sense of the word. All right, taking a live look at the Space Needle tonight. You can see the top of the Space Needle. That's where officials, they have lowered the flag, the American flag there on top, to half-staff because of the deadly shooting here this evening. Happened at 6:01 p.m. People running from the scene fled into the Space Needle lobby, and the building was placed on lockdown. After a few hours, it was evacuated by Seattle police.
This is video shared with us from a witness at the scene, and you can see the police response as a victim laid on the ground, the chaos unfolding as people tried to figure out what was going on. Obviously, a very chaotic and panicked scene during an annual family event at the Bite of Seattle. People just running for cover.
And thousands of people had to be evacuated when that shooting happened. It was chaos. From the Seattle Center to the Pacific Science Center to the Space Needle, all had to lock down and were evacuated. Our coverage continues with Tyler Cunnington, who joins us live from Seattle Center. Tyler, you've been out there for a while tonight. What have you been experiencing? What's it like out there now?
Well, Preston, it was a very active scene along Sue Bird Court. That's where we were stationed for the last 2 hours or so, but now it has since been opened up. You can see we're standing right here as it converges with Lenny Wilkinson, and this is really a straight look down, but I want to show you, just as we look off to the side here, all of the grounds basically blocked off from letting people enter. There's still Seattle police officers stationed here right now. You can see, if we zoom in a little bit, just all of those food vendors that were set up, all of their spaces just left as they were. Now, this was the 3rd and final day of Bite of Seattle. However, everything here just sort of frozen in time. And if we kind of pan around here now to look down into the actual grounds itself, we can see the Welcome to Bite of Seattle sign that says free entry, and the website, just kind of an eerie reminder of why we're even here today. And then this whole straightaway, just again, all these tents and vendors just left and abandoned from their spots when all of the chaos broke out. And really looking down this whole whole stretch. We had seen officers just before we went onto the air, still walking around and surveying. We saw, tripods of cameras taking pictures of the scene. I mean, that really looks right down towards the fountain itself, where we know that shooting and kind of near the armory took place. Here's just some of the video we have captured from over the course of the day. This is over here on Sewbird Court. This is where we were. This was incredibly active. There were a ton of SPD SUVs as well as armored vehicles and officers and other people in tactical gear. You'll see just the needle right there, and as we pan down, that was the area of focus looking at the PACCAR IMAX building. We know from that press conference they said there was a particular area of interest on the grounds where there was sort of a sort of targeted response of some kind. We don't know if that's tied to whether there was a suspect. Again, we were told they don't believe, they say the grounds are secure, so we're not sure what all that attention was really for. But this area was where there were multiple armored vehicles, state patrol, rescue, four-wheel trucks that were rolled in here, and then this shortly cleared up, probably just about 30 or so minutes ago, and that is what allowed us to walk all the way right up here to this closed off, still part of the Seattle Center grounds. Just to recap, you heard just some of those people in our opening sound bites who we interviewed, people who were up in the Space Needle, who fled from the scene after hearing the gunshots, going inside, being told to hug against the wall for about 5 to 10 minutes before they sent them to the top of the Needle, away from the danger. The staff there at the Needle clearly acting very swiftly and with safety in mind, and just story after story, witness after witness, just describing the same thing: chaos, fear, and just total confusion about what happened here today at this annual summer tradition. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Horrifying. Tyler Cunnington live tonight at Seattle Center. Thank you, Tyler. Our crews were all over Seattle Center following that shooting. Witnesses described the chaos.
We were just, walking and looking for stuff to eat, and we just see a bunch of people just swarming through, and everyone's saying mass shooting. Not mass shooting, but like run, like someone's shooting, active shooter, and all we did was just follow the crowd. And we ended up here at the Space Needle, where we were trapped for 2 hours.
They literally were running for their lives. Tonight, King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai released the following statement shortly after the mass shooting at Seattle Center. Here it is. I am horrified by the shooting at Seattle Center this evening during the Bite of Seattle. As someone who grew up in this community, I know what this event means to so many families, young people, and neighbors across our region for years. The Bite of Seattle has been one of Seattle's signature summer traditions. To see violence at a place that brings so many people together is heartbreaking, and it's unacceptable. My heart is with the victims and their loved ones, those who were senselessly injured, Seattle Center employees and vendors, and everyone who has been traumatized by the experience. I am also grateful for the first responders who rushed in to protect others and care for the injured. We know several of the injured were immediately taken to Harborview Medical Center just moments after that shooting, including that 2-year-old boy we mentioned. KOMO's Lynanne Nguyen has been at Harborview for us all night monitoring the situation. The hospital went into partial lockdown. She joins us now live with the latest updates. Lynanne.
Well, Michelle, we had been getting updates from hospital officials out here all night long. We had been hearing about one patient, a woman who was in surgery in critical condition, only to later learn that one patient did die here at the hospital, in addition to the 2 people who died at the scene. We also know that first responders found several others injured, including a 2-year-old child. According to Seattle Fire, one 40-year-old woman had minor injuries and declined to be taken to the hospital. Harborview officials tell us that 3 people are in satisfactory condition here at the hospital, including a 39-year-old woman, a 23-year-old man, and a 2-year-old child. Hospital officials say their injuries involve gunshot wounds to the leg, abdomen, and arm. We're told situations like what happened tonight, of course, are something that the staff here at Harborview are trained in and have regular drills throughout the year to prepare for.
It's a busy time for Harborview. It's the trauma center. It's the summer, so it's very busy. But this is what we're meant to do. We're always ready because we're the level 1 trauma center. So if something like this happens, an unfortunate shooting, then we deliver, and that's what we did this evening.
And as we mentioned earlier, the hospital was put on a partial lockdown earlier this evening as the situation was still very fluid and officials were unsure if there could possibly be another shooter still on the loose. But I'm told that that lockdown was lifted around 9 o'clock tonight. Now, just to recap again, there are 3 people still at the hospital tonight, all in satisfactory condition, including the 2-year-old child who was injured. Reporting live in Seattle, Leanne Wynn, KOMO News.
Leanne, thanks very much. We are hearing from our local lawmakers in Washington, D.C. tonight. Senator Maria Cantwell posted on X, "This is a tragic situation. My heart goes out to the victims, their families, and all those affected. I am following developments closely. Thank you to all the first responders at the Seattle Center, Harborview, and everywhere else in the city."
And this wasn't just locals at the event tonight. A lot of people at Seattle Center for Bye to Seattle were visiting from out of town.
I want to try to buy to Seattle because I've never been to just now, and then like my first experience, I'm probably not coming back.
Stay with KOMO News Network as we track the new details of this mass shooting. We'll have updates on the air and online at KOMOnews.com. And tune in starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning for KOMO Morning News for up-to-the-minute details.
The KOMO News app keeps you up to date wherever you are. Download right now.
Where you been, Hank?
Little field research. Check this out.
Looks like America is loving Ford quality.
Yeah, and J.D. Power backs it up.
Great deals.
Crazy good capability.
America, this is what summer's all about.